that is nylon with a simple, that is Rajugranthi kind of suturing. And once again, the same thing, I used a round body because it's a very fragile areas. Already it has an inflammation there. So it's a fragile area. So the cut throughing possibilities will increase if you put a tension sutures. And this is on the mucosa. Mucosa also the same thing. You have to go for the round body and smaller sutures like 30, 40, preferably absorbable. So it just needs a few days approximation, like because having good vascularity, so definitely it will heal very faster. So only approximation is needed. Don't take the bite only on the mucosa. You have to include the underlying structures also. Then only we can approximate the mucosal margins. So or else the cut throughing chances will be more, because it's not a tough tissue. Mucosa is a very soft tissue. And this is the torn Achilles tendon. This is the leg. This is the callus part. So and malleolus, and this is the Achilles tendon. It's a completely torn. So tendons are very poor in the vascularity. So definitely having a good strain on them. For that, so usually I use a modified Kessler stitching method. So initially along the axis of the tendon, you have to go in and come out, and you have to take a transverse bite and come out. And once again, you re-enter from the same area and come out along the long axis. The same thing is repeated on the another side of tendon, and you have to tie it up. So why it is so? Because there, as I told, is simple suturing. This is the fibers of the tendon run longitudinally. Along the fibers, if you put in only the simple suture, definitely it will cut through at the time of operation only. At the time of operating period only, it will get cut through. So to overcome that problem, and it has to sustain a longer strain on those structures, so we have to go for this kind of structure material. And afterwards, once you secure this modified Kessler stitch, and then we can go for approximation of the lips of the tendon. Either we can go for a modified Bunnell stitch also. We have to go for the zigzag fashion rather than going in the longitudinal fashion. This is the advantage of this is, so it's not go along the fibers of the tendon. This bite will take along the line of the fibers of the tendon. So here the same thing, modified Kessler stitches are placed, and you can see here the two stitches are approximating, is about to approximate. Once you tie it, then after that you can take a bite, simple interrupted suture has to be placed, and you can place on the anterior as well as the posterior side of the tendon. So this is after closing of the tendon. This is the Kessler stitch, and these are the simple interrupted stitches. And this is then necrotizing fasciitis who underwent aggressive debridement and fasciotomy on the either side. These wounds, fasciotomy wounds, are healed by second intention healing, where this required an skin graft. So here the skin graft requires a proper knotting of the suture material. So I have chosen the 30 silk here. So the intention of placing the stitches here is just to keep the graft in situ. So simple interrupted sutures are placed around the stitches, and multiple openings has done just to prevent the seroma. So this is a case of hematoma oris. So hematoma in between the chondrite, perichondrium and cartilage. So if you leave it for longer time, then chondrium usually, this perichondrium is nourishing the cartilage. So that cartilage, because of detachment of the perichondrium, that cartilage may go into deformity or necrosis. So as early as possible, we have to open it on the dependent part. So I have opened it on here, and then later on, in the most of the cases, the commonest complication of this procedure is an repeated continuous secretion. You'll keep on secreting for weeks together. To overcome this problem, we take sterile disinfected buttons, that is shirt buttons, or depending on the size, we can go for the coat, that is bigger buttons also, depending on the size, and it has to be fixed on the either side. Through and through, you have to take a bite. You have to curve needle. You have to take make it a bit straightened, and through the perichondrium and the cartilage, you have to take a bite, and there also you have to place a similar kind of button and take out and tie it. So care should be taken. Here there is an incision. Okay, so for initially I have drained it off, and afterwards I place the stitches. So this will keep the perichondrium and the cartilage in position for 48 hours. So afterwards, if you remove it, there won't be any accumulation. You can see there is a button impression of the button here. So we can cut down the suffering time by adopting such kind of modification in the stitches. And this is once again in calcaneus cuteus, a huge defect has appeared, and I did the flap for this. This is called a rhomboid flap. So rhomboid flap, and after approximation, either you can go for an mattress, vertical mattress suture, or here I place the simple interrupted sutures with the 3-0 silk. And this is an scar after healing of the rhomboid flap. This is done under local anesthesia. And this is the appendicectomy. I couldn't take the pursing because very less likely we perform this kind of sutures nowadays. So this is, they'll take a multiple bites around the stump of the suture, so stump of the appendix, which includes not only the serosal layer, even it enter into the muscular layer of the cecum. So it just appears like a purse string. So after that, when you do the appendicectomy, you remove the appendix. This stump, if you wanted to bury inside the wall of the cecum, what you have to do, you have to hold with the forceps and push it inside. At that time, you have to tie it. So circumferentially, it will tighten the cecum wall. So this is called as purse string sutures. Nowadays, we are getting many modification and advancement. We get sterile strips. So wounds like without any tension is there, then lips are not much apart. At that time, what we can do, we can apply this adhesive sterile strips. So no need of stitches and all. So this also we can adopt. Types of suturing needle. Sushruta has told in different kinds of suturing needle. One is runta, that is round body needle. The needle what we use in day-to-day practice in the house, that is for stitching of the cloth and all, the body, you can see this is round shaped. So such kind of needle is called as runta. And he mentioned the pramana, that is angula dvayam, that is should be having a 2 angula. He has not mentioned this is curved, so it could be, even it may be straight also. And such kind of straight, this one round body needles are used for the suturing of the soft tissues and the joints, and this is called as round body needles. So Sushruta has explained a cutting kind of needle. Nowadays we are getting a triangular shaped needle, but he has explained the quadrangular kind of needle. So ayatakara he has told. So this is having one surface, second one, and third one, and fourth one on the other side. So 4 surface. This is the what exactly the Sushruta has told. But nowadays we are getting a triangular shaped cutting needles. Those are called as cutting needles, and runta kind of needles are said as the round body needles. And in case of the koshika and marma, phala, so in those conditions we can go for the dhanurvakra kind of needles, which are curved needles. See, based on, if you assume there is a circle and which is further divided into 8 equal parts, so based on that, if you take one part to another part, this is one half circle needle, and this is 3/8 circle. So among the 8 parts of the circle, so you are taking one part, second part, 3 parts. So 8 parts. This right now I am showing the only 4 parts. So if one line comes here and another comes here, this becomes the 8 parts. So it's a 3/8 needle, and this is 1/4 needle, and this is the 5/8 needle. The 5 parts among the 8 parts has taken. So this is the how they coat the curved needles. So whenever you are going for the see what is how to choose the which needle in which surgery we supposed to go. So surface surgery, you better to go for the lesser curvature, and the surgeries in the cavity where turning like in abdominal cavity like phalakosha and all those things where the turning of the needle is becoming difficult. In such conditions we have to go for the 5/8 circle, or else 4/8 this half circle, we can go for that. So among the cutting needle, we get two kind of cutting needle. One is conventional cutting needle. So this is a mark like the triangle like this, where the sharper end will comes on the inner margin of the needle. This is called conventional cutting needle. And next one is the reverse cutting needle, where the sharper end comes on the outer margin of the needle. So this is what is the difference, we'll look into later. And this is the round body needle. What is the difference between conventional? This is round body. Definitely, we know this is used for only for the softer tissue, not for the structures like the tougher tissue like the skin and all. So at that time, we have to put a more pressure to push the needle into the tissue. So this is not for the closing of a tougher tissue. This is only for closing like a peritoneum, fascia, muscles, all those kind of structures. Then what is the difference between the conventional cutting and reverse cutting? See, conventional cutting has the inner cutting. This is also called as inner cutting needle. So when we insert into the tissue, we get a triangle having the sharper end towards the suture material. So it get a sharper end. Because of bit of traction, the cutting through of chances will be more in case of conventional cutting, where in case of reverse cutting, the sharper end is here. This is the blunt end. So with a minimal pressure, it may not cut through. So this is the difference between reverse cutting and conventional cutting. Then if this reverse cutting having more advantage, then when to use the conventional cutting? Conventional cutting is used like when you wanted to pass through like harder structures like periosteum or like the nail, and those kind of conditions, we need a conventional cutting kind of needles. And another difference the needle comes, that is a traumatic needle, which is having an eye, and this is a swag needle that is called as non-traumatic needle. You can see that the diameter of the eye is much more than that of the body. So when you pass the needle into the tissue, so while taking it out, so the eye is having a more diameter, it does the more hole in the more damage to the tissue. So cut through chances will increase if you use the traumatic needle. So this is swagged or a traumatic needle. Nowadays we are getting most of the needles in this fashion only. This is reusable, this is single usable. This is called as a traumatic or swagged needle. There are different methods of holding the artery forceps. So this is the tripod grip. 3 fingers are used: thumb, index, and ring finger. And this is the palmar grip. The thenar and hypothenar are used, and this is a thenar eminence grip. The thenar eminence is used, and another comes, that is the pencil grip. Like if you are operating on the microsurgery and all, just you are holding the pencil like that, you can use the holding of the needle holder. So this is called as pencil grip. So what are the different knots we are getting? This is called as Granny knot. So what the difference you are finding? So this is, see, this is red thread is crossing the blue thread, green thread. So red is above here, and it's when it's on the neck, second knot, it goes behind the another thread. So this is called as Granny knot. It is not used, it's not much secured. The reef knot is much secured than that of the Granny knot. So where here the red is below the another thread. So here both the side is below here. So this is called as reef knot. This is more secured than that of the Granny knot. So this is called as surgeon's knot. What is the difference between the reef knot and surgeon's knot? So in the both the condition, so this is same, but only thing is the loops. We take 2 loops here in the initial knot, and in the second loop on the single loop on the next knot. So 2 loops and in the clockwise direction, and next loop on the anti-clockwise direction. here one loop on the clockwise direction and another loop on the anti-clockwise direction. Here the clockwise and clockwise. So this is the difference. Passage of needle through the tissue follow the curvature. You have to, this is the principle of putting the suture, and appropriate size, shape, and cutting, round body, round body, traumatic, traumatic, reduce the tissue damage. You have to decide based on that. Then technique of suturing, neither too far nor too near, nati duro nati krusto. So what happens if you put in too near and too far? Dura trujaha, if you put too far, then it will be more painful. And sanni kroste avalunchana. So if you put very nearer, then cut throughing will be there only. Definitely there will be a cut throughing. So if you put at the appropriate size, then before it get cut through, then it will get healed. So here, if you put very nearer to the margins of the wound, then it will get cut through. So this is where in the Mundrigi College, they are practicing the suturing methods in the practical hall. And conclusion, choice of the surgical needle and needle holder is important as the choice of suture, clips, stapling devices designed to be used in the laparoscopic instrument. These are just an advancement, but basic principles remain same, which is told by Sushruta. So I salute all my teachers who have trained me from primary to the till now. Till now, there are many teachers are training me, and I also never forget the search engines like Google and YouTube. So they may not be a guru, but they are shikshakas. And I am thankful to Dr. P. Hemant Kumar sir, who is my guide and motivator. And thank you for National Sushruta Association giving me an opportunity, and the principal of Ayurveda College Coimbatore and principal of SDS AMC Mundrigi. And thank you, Dr. Setu Krishna and his team. Thank you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to present few of my views. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for helping us discover the applied aspects of Sevana Karma. Can we move on to the question, sir?
Yeah, please, ma'am.
So the first question is, when we close Sulikita Vrana partially, won't it cause septicemia or won't it penetrate into the deeper tissue?
Yeah. See, you have to choose the wound which is having clean contaminated wounds only for the Sulikita. So you suppose not to go for contaminated wound for the Sulikita and close it.
Okay, sir, thank you. The next question is, which will be the best material for suturing between monofilament and polyfilament?
Yeah, it all depends on in which condition, which structure you wanted to close. So monofilament, as I told, the tissue reaction will be less, and getting the suture material contamination will be less, and knot securing is also less. Then if you wanted to put a secured knot, then you better to go for a multifilament.
Okay, sir, thank you. The next question is, nowadays surgical staples are used for practice, sir. Yeah. Which is better, suture or staples? Can you comment on that?
Pardon, madam, I didn't got the question.
Which is better, sir, suture or staples?
Yeah. When we think, generally we call staples, we don't know what staples sir is addressing. So staples, I have told the skin stapler here. Yes. We get an anastomotic staplers also, and hemorrhoidectomy staplers also. So, but it is more convenient and less time consuming using of the staplers than that of the suturing. But the main drawback of that using the stapler is the price.
Thank you, sir. Which are the main anesthetics used in Shalya, sir?
For skin suturing or what kind of?
No, sir. The question is general. Okay. Main anesthetic used in Shalya.
Yeah. See, for because in my presentation, most of my presentations are highlighted on the skin sutures. So for general, this one, you better to go for lignocaine, at the dose of 3 to 6 mg per kg body weight. And if you don't want to see much of bleeding, if the area is like scalp and all, where the oozing is more than that of the comparatively the other part of the body, then you can go for lignocaine with adrenaline at the dose of 6 to 12 mg per kg body weight.
Okay, sir. Thank you. The next question is, could you please tell me what is dye in catgut and why it is used?
What is?
Dye in catgut and why it is used?
Yeah. See, it's not a dye. This is a coating. This is a tanned. This is not a dye. Okay. So, and this is tanned with the chromium salt. So, what the chromium salt does? When you use the catgut, so the enzyme proteolytic, because it's a protein from the sheep or cattle's collagen tissue. This is nothing but the body protein. So our body proteolytic enzymes will start acting on it and digest it. So what they want? So they want to reduce the penetration time. So they have coated that chromium over the catgut, so that our proteolytic will get engaged digesting. Our hydrolysis will take place first by this one chromium, and once the chromium get dissolved, then the collagen catgut will get exposed for the enzymatic reaction. So why they have applied? So probably you got the answer: to increase the stay period of the suture material in the body.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The next question is, what we can do when the scar is formed because of suture?
Yeah. See, this is so before the scar form, so you have to take care by using a proper suturing method. Don't tie too much. See, our intention while doing the suturing is just to approximate the two lips of the wound, so that the union will take place. If you tie too much, then definitely the mark of the suture material will come out on the tissue. So better to go for monofilament rather than polyfilament, and go for a non-reactive things, like if you go for silk and all, which is nothing but the foreign protein, and there will be a much more body reaction for those kind of materials. Then rather than going for that, you better to go for the monofilament and non-reactive suture materials, so that will prevent the scar forming. And once it formed, so it depends on the severity. Either you can go for revision of the scar, so means you have to surgically you have to excise it and resuture it. If it is very minimal, then you can plan based on the things, whether it means hypertrophied scar, something like that. So based on that, you can plan the.
Hello. Sir, can I move on to the next question?
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Sir, in present days, many doctors are using an ointment to join the teared skin instead of thread or suture. Please tell me about it, sir.
Yeah. So the protein which is having adhesive property, so those are used. But when to use it? See, already the wherever we can use the steri-strips, there and all we can use that glue. For example, means what I wanted to tell is, when a wound is not having any tension, which is the lips are not aparted. So in those conditions, like just below the eye, the skin is very loose. So even the wound takes place below the eye on the orbit. So there won't be any aparting or tension in the wound. So in those conditions, you can use the glue.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, could you please explain the USP numbering for usage in surgery?
One second, madam. I just use the headphone now.
Can I tell, sir?
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Tell me, ma'am.
Could you please explain USP numbering for usage in surgery?
Yeah. See, I will give some examples here. that I already means I have told in the while presenting. For example, if you are using for the hernia mesh repair, you can go for 2-0-Prolene, which is bit thicker. If you are going for peritoneum and all, so no need of going for a bigger thread. So you can go for 3-0 and all. So, and if you are means ophthalmologist and all, they are using 10-0s, means very fine thread, and vascular repair and all. If there is a bigger vessels and all, they are going for 6-0, 7-0. And in general surgery, if you are going for the skin closure and all, we are going for 3-0. And if the surgery is on the face and all, if you are concerned about the scar and all, if you are, then we will go for the smaller threads like 4-0 and 5-0. So there is no any particular rule. It means in this structure, this number only you have to decide. This all depends on the surgeon and his choice, which kind of suture material he wanted to use. Like in case of hemorrhoidectomy, we'll use 1 or 2. So where we wanted means we don't want the suture material. If you are using absorbable, it should get absorbed very quickly, and we are not bothered about the scar at that area. Means cosmetic scar. So it's all depends on the surgeons and his choice and the area where you are operating and which part. So it all depends on that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That's it with the questions.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful explanation. Now I invite Dr. Veena, Assistant Professor, Department of Shalya Tantra, Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Namaste everyone. It's an immense pleasure to show gratitude to one and all present here. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere thanks to respected Dr. Praveen Kumar S. Patil sir, Associate Professor, SBS Ayurveda College and Hospital, on behalf of our institution, Ayurveda College Coimbatore, entire Samsiddhi team, and on my own behalf, for sharing his thoughts and views on practical aspects of Sivana Karma told in Ayurveda classics and the modified techniques of the same. It was a wonderful session, sir, to brighten the knowledge as well as the clinical practice of all upcoming Sushrutas. Thank you so much, sir. Our wholehearted thanks to all the guests and participants here to make this event a grand success, and hope everyone could take out the soul essence of the sessions to its maximum. I extend my big thanks to our beloved principal and the backbone of our institution, Dr. Sudhir Raj sir, Dr. Sedu sir, HOD of Department of Shalya Tantra, and whole Ayurveda College family for the support and teamwork to make this event most wonderful. Thank you one and all for being with us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite Dr. Sudhir Raj N, Principal of Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, to share a few words.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, my mic was mute. That's why I couldn't. Okay.
It's okay, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen, sir. Thank you, Dr. Praveen, sir. Thank you for your valuable insights on the topic, Sivana Karma. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Hemant Kumar, sir, for your informative presentation on topic Ashtaveda Shastra Karma and for presentation on the topic Ashtaveda Shastra Karma and for gracing this wonderful evening with your presence, sir. I would like to extend my gratitude to the National Sushruta Association and Diksha e-learning for all their support. Last but not the least, thank you all to the participants for joining with us today. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Praveen, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for inviting.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Success is a learnable skill. We hope that our session aids you all in learning something new every day. Ultimately, helps in attaining success.
The next Samsiddhi webinar is on 29th of July 2020 on the topic The Art of Prescribing in Ayurveda by the renowned Vaidya M. Prasad, Professor and HOD, Department of Shalakya Tantra, Ashtanga Ayurveda Vidyapeetham, Kerala. The next topic will be Understanding the Clinical Utility of Vikara Vighada Bhava Bhava Pradivishesha by Dr. Srikant VM, Assistant Professor, Department of Samhita and Siddhanta, Parul Institute of Ayurveda, Gujarat. To know more about our updates, do stay connected with our social media platforms. That's all for today, members. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you and Shubharatri.